Welcome to the new version of Untangle, version 10. There's several new features in 10, and we thought we'd go over them just so you have a better idea. One of the biggest changes is that Untangle now is based on Debian Squeeze, which will provide far greater hardware support. It also has a new kernel, which actually has better support for PPOE. We still recommend using your ISP's modem for PPOE, but if you don't have that choice, there should be a lot better support with the new kernel. Besides some of the lower level changes, there's some more obvious GUI changes, so we'll go over those. The first one is that the administration GUI control, whether it's HTTPS or HTTP, is no longer under administration. It's under networking now. This is in two locations. First is the service port. If you're going to allow HTTPS, which port you want to use that on, and then the HTTP port also. This affects blog pages, quarantine pages, and so forth. So we generally don't recommend changing from port 80, but it's there if in case you have a situation where it does need changes. To enable the administrative login from the outside, so you can access your admin controls. It's under Advanced, Networking Advanced filters, and then Input filters. And it's Allow HTTPS on the WAN. You'll notice right above it, we have a new feature that allows you to enable SSH access from the GUI. This is a much requested feature. It does require that you set the password for the console when you first install, or at some point on the actual console you need to go in the terminal and set the password. But after that you can allow or disable SSH access right from the GUI. Should make it pretty useful in case you have some remote connection that you need to look at the logs and so forth. Some of the other features that we have going on is time zones. We generally reduce the number of time zones to a better amount, to a smaller amount, but that ran into a lot of people having difficulty looking for a particular time zone they're looking for. So now we support all the time zones that Debian Squeeze supports, so you'll see it. It's quite a list. As Debian updates their list of time zones, the list will automatically retrieve that and see it here. So you can see that we've really increased this. This was another point that some people were looking for. We've added that in there also. One other major change is that you'll notice that Attack Blocker is no longer in the services area. This is actually under System. And if you go here to Shield, and it's real simple. It's enable and disable. You can add rules to bypass certain IP addresses. But Shield is really to protect the Untangle from LAN-based attacks. Basically, if someone's storming your firewall with BitTorrent or some of the tools that you can actually bring Untangle heavily used and bring it down to neos. Shield will help kind of throttle that kind of heavy use and protect it from crashing or not being able to filter. And that's some of the major changes for Untangle for version 10.